Welcome back to Grant and Graham Insights. I'm Alex, and today we are talking about something that I see time and time again, and it costs businesses far more than they ever realize: the leadership gap. Specifically, why companies wait too long to bring in an interim CEO, and what that delay actually costs them. Let's start with a scenario that will sound familiar. A senior executive leaves unexpectedly. Maybe it's a resignation. Maybe it's a health issue. Maybe the board finally made a difficult decision that had been building for months. Whatever the reason, suddenly there is a gap at the top of the business. And what happens next? Usually one of three things. One, a senior member of the existing team steps up temporarily, stretching themselves well beyond their actual role. Two, the business begins a formal permanent recruitment process, which everyone knows is going to take at least 3 to 6 months. Or three, and this is the most common one, the leadership team collectively decides to manage for now, to hold things together, to wait and see. And this is where the real cost begins. Let me give you some numbers to think about. The average time to hire a permanent C-suite executive is between 4 and 6 months. In competitive sectors like fintech, payments, and telecom, it can be longer. And that is before you factor in notice periods, onboarding time, and the time it takes a new permanent hire to actually get up to speed. We are talking about 6 to 12 months before a permanent leader is genuinely effective in the role. Now ask yourself this: what happens to your business in 6 to 12 months without strong leadership at the top? Decisions slow down, teams lose direction, key people start looking for the exit, clients notice the instability, competitors move into the space you are no longer defending. And here is the thing that people rarely calculate: the revenue impact of slow decisions. A missed partnership opportunity, a delayed product launch, a contract that went to a competitor because nobody had the authority or the confidence to close it, a restructuring that should have happened in January but didn't happen until September. Every week of leadership vacuum has a price. And in a fast-moving sector, that price compounds. So why do companies wait? I have had this conversation with dozens of boards and leadership teams over the years, and the reasons are always variations of the same few things. We don't want to send the wrong signal to the market. We are already in conversations with permanent candidates. We think we can manage internally for a few more weeks. We are not sure an interim is the right fit for our culture. Let me address each of these honestly. On sending the wrong signal to the market, the wrong signal is not bringing in experienced leadership. The wrong signal is visible instability, slow decision-making, and a business that appears to be drifting. A seasoned interim executive in place within days sends exactly the right signal. It says the board is in control, it is acting decisively, and business continues. On being in conversations with permanent candidates, these are not mutually exclusive. The best-run businesses run interim and permanent processes in parallel. An interim leader can hold and improve the position while the permanent search continues. In many cases, the interim actually makes the permanent hire more successful because they have stabilized the business and given the incoming permanent leader something solid to build on. On managing internally for a few more weeks, those weeks always become months. I have never seen a business say, "Actually, we managed fine internally and we are glad we waited." Not once. And on culture fit, a great interim executive has been parachuted into more businesses, more cultures, and more challenging situations than almost any permanent hire you will find. Adapting fast is literally what they do. Now let me tell you what happens when businesses get this right. When a business brings in the right interim executive quickly, within days of identifying the gap rather than weeks or months, the difference is dramatic. The team has a leader, decisions get made, the business keeps moving, clients stay confident, and the permanent recruitment process can happen properly without the pressure of a burning building. I have seen businesses go through complete leadership transitions, CEO departures, restructurings, turnarounds, and come out the other side stronger because they acted fast and brought in the right interim resource immediately. The speed of the decision is often more important than the perfection of the decision. So what should you actually look for in an interim CEO or C-suite executive? 3 things. First, sector depth. This is not the time for a generalist. You need someone who has operated at the highest level in your industry. In fintech, payments, telecom IT, these sectors move fast, and the learning curve for someone without deep sector knowledge is a luxury you do not have. Second, a track record of delivery under pressure. Interim leadership is not consultancy. It is not advice. It is ownership. You need someone who has been in the seat before, who has made difficult decisions, who has managed teams through uncertainty, and who has delivered measurable results in comparable situations. Third, speed of deployment. The value of an interim executive is in large part the speed at which they can be operational. The best interim leaders can be effective from week 1, not month 3. At Grant & Graham, we have been placing interim C-suite executives into businesses across fintech, payments, telecom IT, and technology for over 15 years, across 14 offices on 6 continents. And the one thing I can tell you with absolute certainty is this: the businesses that act fast when a leadership gap appears are the ones that come through stronger. The ones that wait, manage internally, and hope the gap won't matter, they are the ones still talking about the difficult year they had long after the moment has passed. If you are sitting with a leadership gap right now, or if you sense one coming, the most valuable conversation you can have is a short one with an experienced firm that has placed the right leader in exactly your situation before. That is what Grant & Graham does. Reach out to us at www.grant-graham.co.uk or drop us a message directly. The first conversation is always straightforward, no pressure, and usually very useful. Thank you for listening to Grant & Graham Insights. If this episode was useful, share it with a colleague, and we would love a review wherever you listen to podcasts. I am Alex, and I will see you in the next episode.